Okay, hi travelers. I've got my little camera set up on my tripod here, and I'm going to pre-record this little intro so that I can put it in front of every video. So unfortunately, as you go back to look at your moon and rising signs, you'll be hearing this again, but it's okay. So I told you that for January there were going to be there's a new deck of cards and a new way that I'm going to be attempting to read the cards. The cards are the Fin de Siècle, okay, known as the Kippers, and it's not a new deck. Lots of people use them, okay. Supposedly they're like the Lenormands, only I find them to be completely different from the Lenormands, and just in my experience with them, and they, for me, are more like the La Vida Sibila cards. I've also discovered that there are a few things missing from the cards in terms of situations that could happen. There's cards that are missing that could refer or relate to some of those situations. And as we go further into the year and I continue to do more readings with them, you'll understand what I mean, because I'll talk to you about it. And so I, read the little book that came with it. Okay. And that's all well and good. Some of the stuff I didn't understand or I did not agree with. And so, you know me, I created my own little book, the Fin de Siècle. Now, before I talk to you about what I did with the book, I am quite sure there's going to be somebody out there who's going to come up underneath the video and be like, well, that's not how the cards are read, or that's not what the cards say, or that's not what the meanings are. And that's fine and good. I have a process of bonding with my cards, of imprinting with my cards, and I wrote about that in a little short article over on Substack about tarot hygiene. And so in imprinting with the cards, they were really talking to me a lot. And so I was able to go back in and write my own little book and add some extra interpretations into it in terms of how the cards spoke to me in combinations with other cards. And so that's what's contained in the book. All right. Now, the way the cards are going to be, here's the deck. Okay. And so they're almost like I find them completely different from the Lenormands, especially the French Lenormands, even the Dorndorf, the German Lenormands. They're completely different. I think these cards are a little bit more plain spoken. So in that regard, they behave a lot like the La Vida Sibila. I've been doing some practice pulls. I haven't necessarily had to use the Sibilas for clarification, but I may have to. That's not the fault of the cards. That would be me, the reader, not understanding what the cards are saying to me. So I will be using, perhaps, if need be, the La Vida Sibila for a bit of clarification. These are going to be shorter readings this year. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe a 10 card spread, anywhere from 6 cards to 10 card spread in a pyramid shape with 3 additional cards off to the side. Those 3 cards additional off to the side will be dealt first face down, and then the rest of the cards will be dealt face up. So the 3 cards to the side that are face down will be things that may come into play. Okay. Again, as with all readings that I do here on YouTube, these readings are free, therefore they are general. And in order to gain any insight into your own specific situation requires a personal reading. And the way that I do personal readings, how you book with me, you contact me by email, and I get your birth date and your sun sign and just your questions. I don't want to know the story. I don't need to know the story about what's going on with you. I just want to know what the questions are, and then I read for you. I do live Zoom readings for 60 minutes. Everything else is recorded, which you upload it to YouTube so that you can go in and view them, download it, save it, delete it, whatever you want to do. I don't need the reading anymore. It's yours to do whatever you want to do with it. And so I always like to give that its general because I'm going to be reading for so many different people of sun, moon, and rising signs. So again, if you recognize a story, then you can always just book with me. You can go over to the About box section of my channel, and there you can find my reading packages. And I left one off, the 20-minute reading, so it's up there now in the About box section. Once you pick your package, you simply email me, and then we go from there, okay? I have payment links, everything. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to explain to you the cards, how I came about some of these interpretations. And before I finish, I want to give a shout out to Bella Dutch, who talked to me about these cards. She said she loves them, and now I understand why. So thanks, Bella. I appreciate that. I've been looking at them for a while, but just they didn't seem interesting to me, and I had bought so many decks that didn't speak, but this deck does a lot of talking. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close this down, and then we're going to get started with the readings. So I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Hi, Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and Merry Christmas to you. Yes, I'm working on Christmas. I'm just trying to get a jump on the month of January. I hope everyone is having a great holiday. I can't, just give me a minute because I can't see anything out of these glasses. And these are the prescriptions. Oh my God. I'll just have to put these on. Hold on. I can't see anything with those. Better. Okay, I got like 27 pairs of reading glasses. I buy them at the Dollar Tree. So anyway, you did see the introduction on the Fin de Cycle, and so I'm just going to go ahead and get to the reading. The cards that we'll be using, the Oracle cards to wrap the reading up, will be the Golden Nostradamus and the Angel Answer cards. So let me go ahead and turn the camera around. Trying to do it slowly so that I don't lose focus with the camera. Now, if you remember, I told you in the introduction that there will be 3 surprise cards. And as I was dealing and shuffling for you, Virgo, 2 cards presented themselves. So the 3 surprise cards will be face down. They came in that order there. Once I put the 3rd card down. And then there's a pyramid. It's 10 cards, 1 at the top, 2, 3, and then 4. And I think that's 10. And those are dealt face up. And so we will just see. So let me put one more rifle and shuffle on these. And we'll lay the other surprise card. At the end of interpreting the pyramid, then we'll flip over the 3 surprise cards to see what may be coming into play. What or who. Through into the situation, into the month of January. So we're going to cut. We're going to lay our next card. And then we will deal the pyramid. Here we go. The main male. Well, there's a man. Isn't there always? There's the man. The next card. Let me move these over here. Okay. Now, there's the main male. Imprisonment. Oh. False person. Well. That's not good, Virgo. Let's see what the rest of the cards have to say. Next row. Toil and labor. Message. Unexpected income. Journey. Despair. Wow, Virgo, what is going on here? Bad health. And the gift. Wow. So, main male. The main male can be, first of all, he is either, no matter if you are, this is same-sex or heterosexual relationship, whomever's going to take the male, the most important man in your life. Now, the main male can also be a brother, a friend, an uncle. Well, not, no, that's the mature male. So a brother or a friend. But the most important man, or someone at least that you are interested in, who's you have a keen interest in. Now, the two odd cards here are imprisonment and false person. Imprisonment can imply anything or situation that is closed, shut down, off limits, locked up tight. But it can also, in terms of relationships, be a situation in which there is isolation, depression, rejection, a sense of separation. Yes, even despair here. Now, the false person is playing two different roles here. The false person is always somebody who works against you, so it is an enemy. So for some of you, this could be an unknown enemy, okay? But it can even be you yourself. But attached to this main male, this tells me that this is somebody that maybe you should not have trusted. You're about to put your trust into them. And the toil and labor card. Well, traditionally the toil and labor card deals with jobs or things that you do where there's not much advancement. You know what I'm saying? That it's just a drudge. It's the grind every single day. But in terms of relationships, it speaks to a relationship that you're having to work on. It's not going very well. It's like pulling teeth. It's like slow and painful. And then we get the message. Now, this doesn't tell me exactly what this may be about. However, these two cards or three cards above it tell me that definitely the message is either from or about the main male, from or about this false person, and from about this situation where somebody feels locked into something, okay? It doesn't tell me exactly what the message is. The message card deals with all forms of communication. So this is mail by post, texts, faxes, emails, phone calls, maybe news that you heard from someone, you saw it on TV, you heard it on the radio. Doesn't exactly tell me what, but it implies to me that for some of you, the message has already been received. Okay, the letter is open, that this is a working desk. Okay, now the unexpected income is supposed to be a lucky card unless it is with negative cards like these. So what the unexpected income, it's not about finances. What this is about is something that comes out of the blue, okay? It's supposed to be something good or something you didn't have to work for, but it comes out of the blue. And I feel that whatever this message is, it gives the opportunity for the situation to move. Now, the journey card deals with all forms of transportation, everything except boats. So we're looking at bicycles, trains, planes, automobiles, motorcycles. Okay, not walking in ships. Those are different cards. So it implies that that there's a round trip, that you go someplace and you come back. So it can speak about arrivals and or departures. In general, the card says that it's time for you to get a move on, to leave the past behind you. But here we see despair and bad health. Now, these two cards together, and I'm sure that there's somebody who's gonna, who's a expert at the fin de siècle is gonna come say, well, no, that's not what the cards mean. Well, I don't care what you say. This is what how the cards react with me. Sometimes when I see these two cards together, it can be the idea that someone may be thinking about self-harm. Okay, bad health and despair, and so. Despair is just that. It is being anxious. It is being sad. It is being depressed. It is the idea that nothing is going right. There's tears, there's crying, there's sadness. And then here with the bad health card. Now, the bad health card can sometimes be an indication of going to places or being in places in which you don't want to be in. Maybe like a hospital, or even this card can be like an asylum, a prison, a hospital, someplace that you don't necessarily want to go. But to me, these are intensifiers. This is an intensifier. So the bad health card is, because it really just deals with health, but my guides gave me some other additional information. So if you'll give me 1 second. In a relationship, here it is. It's an indication of feeling powerless. Okay. or, you know, something that makes you sad and ill. But here we have the gift card at the very end, and the gift card has the power to somewhat negate these things, but it's a small kind of luck. It's not something big and major that changes the whole outcome. Okay? Now, I don't think this is a legal issue in any way, but in which case this can be somebody who's bearing false witness against you, so somebody who's telling lies, who is trying to jam you up in a situation. Just give me 1 second here. The imprisonment with the message card is bad news. It is an indication of bad news, and it's bad news that kind of comes suddenly out of the blue. Okay? The false person. Let's see. Yeah, that's what this says. Yep, that's what's happening here. This is not message of concern, it is the actual message. Yes. Now, yeah, this card can be bills, payments, checks, documents. Okay. And it says it's usually good news, but it can represent that either there is something you don't want to hear, it's something you don't want to hear, here with this card, or that you are in denial about. Okay. We see it right here. I want to go back to the imprisonment card. It's number 29. Just bear with me 1 second. All right. That's what it says. And the gift only implies that it is what am I looking at? The gift number 17. Now, there's a timing with this card, and this indicates the next holiday. So we know that this is Christmas. So for some of you, this could literally be like today. If not that, it could be some other type of holiday. Let me let you look at the card. So it could be New Year's Eve. It could be a birthday. It could be some other kind of. And this is our timing for the card. So I feel that what this is saying is that this situation is going to be moving, and it's not going to be an easy situation or something that you know is going to be very, very easy. It refers to severe stress, emotional exhaustion. For me, the card can sometimes be an indication of, like I said, self-harm and suicide. In cases, especially if it is near bad health, and the imprisonment card. It's not near that, but it's here. Okay? So to me, it implies some kind of situation that really, really depresses you, makes you sad, and maybe some of whomever this is about could be an indication that the person may think about or consider themselves self-harm. But I think that the gift card kind of perhaps not necessarily negates it, but implies that the situation is not as bad as perhaps you may feel or think that it is. Now, is this caused by this main male? I'm not sure. Is it caused by these two people together? I'm not sure. So again, this could be the idea of being locked into a situation with someone who's your enemy. But to me, it can also be an indication that there's another person here who's creating problems. So let's see what the surprise cards say. Child. So it talks about vulnerability, perhaps naivete, but also a new situation or condition, the beginning of something. Pathway. So remember I was saying this card talks about, it doesn't talk about walking or boats. So this card can be literally walking on nature's trails, outdoors, any path. But to me, this represents a crossroads. Okay, because there's a choice or a decision that has to come up. So you're going to have to choose which pathway to take, a new pathway. Literally going someplace new or doing something differently. And then poverty. Now this is an interesting card, because it represents just that, yes, poverty. But it also represents, in a metaphorical or general sense, the idea of lacking something. Okay, so you're taking a new condition. There's a new pathway that's opening up in which something will be missing. Something is lacking. 1 second here. I want to make sure. To me, it's not saying you're going to the poorhouse. That's not necessarily what that means. To me, I would think that the cards would fall in a different way. It just means that it's talking about emotional and mental poverty, being in an uncaring and predatory environment. In matters of partnerships, it says you're going to feel unloved, unsupported, and defenseless. And you're going to find yourself stuck. To me, that's what those cards represent. So this is what is happening for you. It is a new pathway. It is a new, to me, this is saying like portal way, even though that is not necessarily what the card means. There's a new portal way opening up, and it, as I say, will not necessarily be very, very easy. It refers to overcoming something in distance, both temporally and spatially. And so that's it. But it's you're going to feel unloved and supported while this is happening. Okay? And to me, this is the idea that this is a new thing that is coming, headed your way. That new door or pathway has opened for this. So if this is I don't think this is a business. I think this is a personal romantic relationship. And either this main male is cheating, he's got somebody else, or he really is a scoundrel and out to do you serious harm. Okay? So let's pull a scoundrel. Can't believe I said that. But that's what it says. Let's formulate your question for the angel answer cards. To me, there's an indication that, you know, it's not all hope is lost. There is some light at the end of the tunnel. Okay? But you're going to have to go through the tunnel first. You know, and you may have to do it blindly, gropingly in the dark. All right? But eventually you'll find the light. Okay, here we go. Yes, with the exclamation point. And it says there's no need to ask more questions. The answer is yes. Okay? I don't know what that is. Formulate the question for the Golden Nostradamus. In this way, the way the cards have fallen, it reminds me of how the Sibyllus speak, in that typically the first person that comes to mind with these two cards here, be that a third party or just him himself, usually the first person that comes to mind, yes, that's who it is. Okay? That's kind of like how it feels. All right, here we go. The snake. Well. Well. Couldn't be more clear. Even the ox, healthy and hale, at the bite of a snake may fall and flail. This card warns of an impending pitfall, slander, or a trap that is about to spring. Take care not to be, with your shortcomings, the one to poison your own life. And what that means to me is that you need to be on your P's and Q's and be aware of who and what is happening around you. This energy here will do you no good. Okay? And in a sense, it's almost like, to me, the gift card is saying, you know what? It'll end up being a blessing in disguise. Okay? But you're gonna have to take that trip. All right? So that's what I have for you for January 2023. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope the messages help. And until next time, namaste. Something quickly, Virgo. Just as I was pulling the cards up, these 3 cards. And the other message is, whatever it is that you're working on that's really going to be difficult, you're going to find out something by accident, out of the blue. I think I said that, but I just want to let you know that that came through, followed by that journey card saying that that's going to move that situation along, but it's not going to be easy. It's not. That's it.